Hi folks, Teresa from Stringfield Ridge Farm. We have been working on raised beds. Now, I took a spot that I had my herb garden, and we decided to redo my herb garden and do it in raised beds. Now, on our 8 acres, we have in-ground gardens. And we will continue to have in-ground gardens because we have 8 acres. I had to come in the greenhouse to get out of the wind. Because we have 8 acres, we will continue to have in-ground garden. We just have too much space not to. And for big crops like, I don't know, corn or okra, cucumber, we want to have those in-ground because there's more space. They take up more space, and we need more space for those things, especially like cucumbers that spread so much. It would take up a whole raised bed by itself to accommodate enough cucumbers to do pickling, that kind of thing. And we do a lot of okra. So and our okra gets really tall. Our okra usually gets, 8 to 10 feet tall. So that being said, with the raised beds, the reason we are doing raised beds on 8 acres is because with the raised beds, I can do my herbs and things and control my soil better, and control weeds better. I'm getting older and my back hurts, my sciatic nerve hurts, my knee hurts, and I just can't weed. Figured out last year. Last year I had a lot of problems trying to weed in the garden and my herb garden, and I decided that's it. I have to have some raised beds. So that's what we're working on, is getting some raised beds done. We're working on doing 6 of them. Lee has gotten 1 done, and I'll be showing that. Gonna show the process of getting that 1 done. We've got to do 5 more, but he got the 1 done, and I will show in this video the process of that. Also, I'm going to show you a quick tour of my greenhouse. It is really popping, and so we've got to get those beds done so we can get some of this stuff out there. But I wanted to say the reason we're doing raised beds is to have some good soil brought in. We have good soil on our property. Our property is good soil. It has been a tobacco field. It has had horses, cows, pigs all over it, chickens, rabbits, all over the different spots in this property have had those things. And so we have really good soil. We also have woods around us that has good soil out there in the woods that I have brought in to my herb garden from the woods in wheelbarrows. So we have good soil. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is controlling the weeds as we get older. As I get older and out of shape, one reason we got a golf cart. We ended up getting a golf cart so that I can get around the property easier when my knee is hurting and my sciatic nerve is hurting. Also, hoeing. It's just gotten to where it's hard for me to stand there and hoe like I need to, and weed. And so the raised beds will help me out a whole lot to still be able to function and have a garden and help with gardening as I get older. And he'll get older too. So he'll eventually fall apart too, and we'll need more of that kind of thing. So I'm going to show you real quick my greenhouse, and then we will watch the rest of this video will be the progression of our raised bed. So I've showed some of this in a recent video, but it is just really taken off. So I'm going to show it one more time. My little, these little stacking pots that I'm going to stack on top of each other and put on my porch to have a kitchen herb garden right at my porch. All of that is herbs. And so Lee got him some gooseberries going down there. And we've got stuff over here, roselle and toothache plant is all coming up. Lettuce is back there. I have replanted where I messed up the tomato plants that Lippy had done, and I left the lids on them too long. And I have replanted those. They should be coming up soon. But look here, these things are really going crazy. Is the Kajari melon and the scarlet runner beans. All of that is just going crazy. And then I've got my poblano peppers. I actually bought those because I wanted to make sure I had some this year. Some bee balm is starting to come up there. Thai basil. And those are all bok choy. So everything's looking really good. I'm excited and ready to get to planting. So finally, the raised beds are starting. Here's the herb garden. He got the fence in, the gate in, he tilled it all up. We got all the plants and things out, and he is starting the post for the raised beds. So there's the post. He's going to use tin from some of the old barns that were here. We are going to repurpose the tin. We've used a lot of the tin on this property. We used the old tin for his shed and my shed, and on top of the rabbit cages, one of the quail cages, the old chicken coop that's up on the front of the property up there. We're turning it into a garden shed. Haven't yet because it's the floor is in real bad shape. He's thinking about maybe just taking the floor out and having a dirt floor. So there's tin on that roof that came off the barns. And we used to have the chicken coop there when we had the trailer up there. So anyway, back to the raised beds. This is going to be, they're going to have tin around them. And he left room to mow. We're going to have grass. He left 3 foot all the way around to be able to mow in there with the push mower. And then in between each bed will be 3 foot. So there's some of that tin he's using on it. And so the main reason that we are doing raised beds is we have good ground here. We have good soil here, and we will still have the big garden. But for my stuff that I like to grow, my herbs and things that I like to grow, it's gotten really hard for me as I get older to weed and everything. And this way, we can keep the weeds out. We will do the beds, and we're going to put down newspapers. Some people use cardboard, but because I work at the newspaper, I have access to lots and lots of old newspaper. We're going to use newspaper and put down in the bottom, and then use some old, here you go, old sticks and things, and put down on top of the newspaper, and then put good soil in there. And that will keep the weeds out, and I won't have to worry about weeding all the time.
Chris has got me on chain gang. Digging ditches.
So we got one about done. And we're starting to go ahead and throw that pile over in there and fill that up. And that's what we're going to do with each one of them. He's going to put a lip around this. And, or a, whatever you call it, a lip. A rail, he said.
A rail.
He's going to put a rail around this. And each one. And then we're going to fill them up like that with some old junk out of the woods, old rotten logs out of the woods, and twigs, and leaves, and whatever we can find, and then top it off with compost and some good soil. You plan something out, plan, and then sometimes it just goes to shit. Just realized we forgot to put down the newspaper in the bottom. So I get to take all that out so that I can put newspaper in the bottom and put all that back in. And we already had that all planned out. But I just started grabbing logs and throwing them in there. And so the job of redoing. Okay, the newspaper is down. We had some straw left over from bedding, so I put some straw in there on top of the newspaper. And Lee is working on my lip there, or whatever you call it. Shelf. Rail. I'll get it right. Rail. Lee is working on the rail.
I've been working on the railroad.
So on top of the straw, we're putting dead leaves from the woods. And it's starting to really fill up, as you can see. All of our dead leaves going in here, filling that up. And then we'll put our soil on top of that. So it's really looking good. Looking good.
Alright, we just put some compost in there. Now we're going to get us some soil. Put it on top. I call it dirt. Some people calls it soil. I call it dirt. But
Dirt's dead.
Dirt's dead, but I call it dirt. Anyhow, we're going to get us some good soil and top it all off. And she'll be ready to plant in this one. And then we got 5 more to go up through here. All the way up there to my strawberries. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Gotta love it.